tonight we want to go deep. Tonight we really want to not just have a surface conversation. We want to be challenged tonight as dads, as fathers. And we have the right person here to challenge us and to just help us get to the place where we want to be. The author of Fatherhood is Leadership, the book we have been reading, we've given out copies, and it's just great that we can have this dialogue. So Devon, I would like you just to introduce yourself, and it's all yours. Thank you.
Thanks, Uncle Mike. What's up, fellas? How we doing?
What's up, man?
What's going on?
All right, everything's good, man. I'm blessed. Every time I could be around fathers and get on calls like this, man, it really lifts my spirits, man. And there's some special people on this call who's had like a profound impact in my life. And I'm a big believer that us in this, space of fatherhood and all of us are leaders out here and we don't do it alone, man, and I think that, I know that I stand on the shoulders of many giants, and a couple of those giants are in this room. So I'm humbled to be here, man. And I could tell you a little about me. When I spoke to Uncle Mike earlier and Derek, I said, what do you guys want? And I know just as a question, let me just start for a question is like, how many people have read the book? How many people have read my book just by a show of hands or started the book? All right, cool. So I don't want to cause I think Derek's going to be, did you give out the book and everything? There's what I love about the book is there's stories in there and there's ways of being, and I want to go a little off topic. You know what I mean? I want to take it outside the book because there's been some stuff on my spirit, and my Uncle Mike said he wants me to challenge y'all. So y'all up to be challenged a little? That's the question. Are y'all up to be challenged a little?
No.
No? Okay. Who said no? Who said no? Raise your hand.
I'm always up for a challenge.
All right. Well, look, man. No, to me. Yeah, what you gonna learn about me, Kendrick, is when I ask a question, right? I'm sincere. There's three options. There's yes, no, or a counter offer. And nobody's right or wrong. Like I'm all for it, right? So I'm gonna ask some sincere questions because I feel like transformation and growth and being the best father and leader that you can, right? It should also be fun, man, right? So just a little about me early, man. I love what Normski was saying. Before I started my own company, I used to, I worked for what they used to call me when I was a kid, what they used to call working with at-risk youth, right? So I used to be in Bedford-Stuyvesant before they call it Stuyvesant Heights. They used to call it Bed-Stuy, do or die. Back in Brownsville when they used to call it never ran, never will. I would go into the homes of children and families, and my job, it was to work. And quickly what I said was this is who they call me, an at-risk youth. And I changed the name to At Hope Youth. Because I feel like our youth is really, it's all about hope, man. And I learned a lot and I loved it. And from that point, I started, a first-time fatherhood program in the South Bronx. I loved my job and got promoted. And eventually they gave me this raise and this higher salary. But I no longer was working with the children and families that I loved. And I was at this turning point in my life. And at that point, I'm gonna share a little about a story. I had to make a choice of what I wanted to do. And that's when I started my own company and started writing, working with fathers and leaders. And I do a lot of coaching and speaking all over the world. So Uncle, Unc over there told me he wants us to challenge us. So, I'd encourage y'all. I'm not saying this. I say this with the most humility. A lot of people write a book and then they just push it to the side. I wrote this book in 2017 and I couldn't be more proud of the book today. It sustained the test of time, man. The stories in it. It's not like, hey, you do this or you do that. It's I think that the best way to relate to people is through storytelling. You know what I mean? That somewhere in someone else's story, you're going to see you, right? So for me, this ain't about, hey, teaching. This ain't about none of that. It's about relating. So this is what I'm going to ask everybody since the Unc told me to challenge y'all. I was on a flight 2 weeks ago. And I was on a flight, and you ever been on a flight and you put you put the TV on, you put ESPN on, or you pull out your book and you're getting into it, you're settling in, and then all of a sudden the flight attendant comes on and it interrupts your ESPN, the NBA finals games, it interrupts your reading, and all of a sudden you look around and everybody's looking like, oh man, she's interrupting me. Like, so even though the flight attendant is trying to help you, right? Has anybody ever experienced this? Like you sit down and the flight attendant, right? Y'all get what I'm saying? So there's a type of listening. There's a type of listening that you can come today with. You could come today with what I call flight attendant listening. Flight attendant listening sounds like something like this. You know what? I know this. I heard this before. So there's a flight attendant listening that happens, then we're not really truly present. Y'all with me so far? Mm-hmm. Okay. So then in the same flight, I was coming back from Arizona, and all of a sudden I have my headphones, and I look around and people are panicking. True story, 2 weeks ago. I take my headphone off. I hear the woman behind me screaming, "I don't want to die." So I asked the lady next to you, like, what's going on? She says, the pilot came on and said, we have to make an emergency landing. All of a sudden we hit this turbulence, and the plane was literally, and this is the second time this has happened to me. I wrote about it in a chapter of my book, but this was worse than the one that happened when I was in, a lot of stuff happened. I traveled a lot in planes. The air masks start coming out. People are screaming. The pilot comes on and he says something that you don't want to hear a pilot say. He says, "I'm going to try something." He says, "I'm going to try something." He goes up and he goes like just fully through the whole mix of things. 10 minutes, people screaming, blah, blah, blah. We get to about 10,000 feet and he rides out from Pennsylvania all the way to New York, about like only a couple thousand feet above cars. Okay. Now let me ask y'all, when the pilot came on, what do you think it was a different kind of listening for when the pilot came on than the flight attendant? Right. So active listening, Philip said, yes. So there's a pilot type of listening, because when the pilot came on, people thought like, I got to listen because this is life or death. So my challenge to y'all is to have pilot type of listening right now, not because it's life or death, but because this is your life.
I'm with it.
All right. So I'm gonna share a story. So we got fathers with, so here we go. So I was thinking about relationships today, man, because I could talk about fatherhood, and part of being a father, to me, fatherhood is not about our title. I've learned, I work with some of the greatest leaders in the world from all industries, and they have a title of CEO, and some of them are no leaders. And the same people who clean up the bathrooms in that same company got 5-10 people holding court at the end of the day. They're leaders. Because leadership, just like fatherhood, is not about your title. Leadership, to me, like fatherhood, is about influence. It's about how your words and your actions influence your children, your family, your community. Some of the things we were talking about earlier with Norm and how he wants to impact the community. Brothers like Tabiti Boone, who's been pioneers in impacting this community. Derek Phillips. So when I came and I started my company, what I realized was I was stepping into a space where all I saw was a lot of negative connotation around Black fatherhood. I heard a lot of words about it being a crisis and this and that. And it took me a while to run into brothers like Tabiti and Derek, who were like, once I spoke to them, I was like, they're speaking my language, because I had seen firsthand from my experience that, like, it looked to me that there's more Black fathers active in their children's lives now than any time in history, but nobody was telling that story. So when I linked up with these two brothers, it was like a breath of fresh air, because the rest of the world that I had heard and seen wasn't coming at Black fatherhood, wasn't coming at fatherhood from that angle. So for me, it was like, hey man, this is the place I want to create from. All right. So look, man, I encourage you to read the book. But today I want to talk about relationships, man. And I want to talk, we're going to create something right here today. If you're open, if you have pilot listening, like for me, to me, when I open my mouth, I'm always in the mode that my words create my world. My words create my world. Think about it. Think of the words you use. I'm tired. I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed. You're creating a world in which you're walking into as being tired, stressed, and overwhelmed. So I'm going to give an example for me that talks about many things. It talks about relationships. It talks about breakups. It talks about, my ex-wife, and maybe some of you are with your child's mother, and maybe some of you are not. But it doesn't matter. If you're listening from a pilot type of listening, you're going to hear something that may move you. So few years back, 7, 8, 9 years back, I was in this crossroads, man. And I was like, I had gotten promoted in the job. I didn't like it. It was the first time I was like living this victim. Like, I don't even want to come to work. At the same time, I'm going through what I call a difficult divorce. Y'all heard of this term before? Difficult divorce, right? Because I'm from New York. The only divorces I ever heard of was difficult divorces. That's like where I grew up, right? This is before I had traveled to California, where they got this thing. I don't know if y'all heard it in California. They call it conscious uncoupling. Right? Well, we ain't know none of that growing up in Jamaica, Queens. I ain't never heard of nothing like that. All I knew was difficult divorces, right? So what it looked like was I used to pick my son up every Friday, man. And every Friday it'd be some friction because my ex-wife I was in the process of getting a divorce. There was some pain that was causing the relationship on both ends, man. Right? I don't play victim. See, I don't come and say, hey, it's this one's fault. Everyone has a role in things, man. So I'm showing up, right? I'm showing up. And because to me, this is part of fatherhood. This is part of being a leader, because leadership is influence. It's easy to influence the people who like you, man. But can you influence the people who may not like you so much? Can you keep showing up through the adversity? So I show up and this is like a couple months, man, and it's critical. Like, she used to call on my phone. Has anybody ever related to this? And once her name came up, my stomach started bubbling. Anybody can relate to this? Am I the only one, right? Kane knows, like my stomach's bubbling and I'm going to the phone expecting like, oh, this isn't going to be good. Now my listening created her. And I want to tell you about a change and a breakthrough. A change looks like this. You see this line? Change is like, I just want to be a little better. I want to have a little more integrity. I want to be a little different. The problem with change is that what are you being better or different from? You're being better and different from a past. When you're trying to improve on a past, you don't actually have a future. You're just recycling your past. Hold up.
Wow, that's deep.
Hold up. Who said that's deep?
I said it.
All right, listen, I didn't come here. Uncle Mike said, yo, do not come to play. So listen, if I had a blank canvas and I said, create a new masterpiece, but I had a line from the past, could I create a new masterpiece? No, I'd just be adding to the past. This is why when people oversell gym memberships in January, because people have these New Year's resolutions and they're trying to take their past and be a little better. I want to go a little better to the gym. I want to get a little more. And that's why by February 30th, all the oversold gym memberships, it don't matter. They're not there anymore. Because when you're trying to just change, it would look like this. I would show up to pick my son up and I'd say, I'm going to be a little more patient. I'm going to have a little more integrity, right? And I would do it for a while, but then what happened was I would go back to my default. And it would sound like this, fellas. Tell me if it sounds familiar. I can only take so much. Yeah. And when I got to that, I kept trying to change. I became exhausted. I would default and then we'd argue and I'd fall into it. And I would just be recycling my past, man. I had no future. I had no future. And then one day I'm going to use a word that we don't usually use in Jamaica, Queens. And the word is called a breakthrough. Now, the difference between a change and a breakthrough is while a change looks like this, a breakthrough looks like this. I'm here, bam. And the breakthrough was in my shower. And I committed and said, I am no longer going to have a difficult divorce. I had no control over what she said, what she did. The first thing I did was I changed her name on my phone. And I changed her name to pray for her. Real story. So now when my phone rang, I saw the words pray for her. Either it would tell me to like lighten up, Devin, or I'll pray for her. Because I want to give y'all some stuff today, man. I ain't come like I want to give y'all some stuff. A lot of times we're in the wrong proposition. Are y'all with me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, on Zoom, you know, I learned this. This means yes, this means no. So I'm just going to be asking, right? So oftentimes when we're trying to transform something, relationships with our exes, with our children, with wherever, with our business, with our lives, we thinking that, yo, if you just tell me what to do, then I'll have what I want, then I'll be blank. So if you just tell me the 5-step method, Devin, to be a better dad, then I'll have the tools, then I'll be a good dad. So the proposition they tell me is, you know, give me the 5-step method to do, have, be. Or I'm gonna sound like I'm in the 70s. They say, have a do be. Like if I just had the right partner, then I'd do the right thing, then I'd be a good man. You guys relating so far? And what I'll tell you now is that when a life of having and doing, do, have, do, be, leaves us exhausted. So if I took away have, do, be, and do, have, be, what do you guys think the correct order is? Philip?
Starts with me.
Yep, starts with you. Be, do, have. So when someone says, you know what, I want to have a better relationship with my ex, with my son's mother. The first question I ask Philip is, I don't say, what do you need to do? The first question I ask is, who do you need to be to uplift that relationship with your ex? Hey, I want a better relationship with my teenage daughter. I don't say, what do you need to do? The first question is, who do you need to be? So just consider that we can change we can transform anything in our lives if we understand that what comes first is who we're being. Because you don't do leadership. You don't do fatherhood. You're being a father. You're being a leader. You sound like that. Are y'all with me? So I say it's no longer going to be a difficult divorce. I write down a few things. I say, for now on, I am going to create myself in my way of being as the best ex-husband ever. So I start showing up to my ex-wife's house and she's still being who she's being. There's no time I'm telling her anything. I'm not saying, hey, you know, I'm doing this little thing where I'm being the best ex. I never told her that. But every time she would start an argument, I would say, hey, listen, what would the best ex-husband ever? How would he be right now? She'd ask me something, I said, what would the best ex-husband be right now? What would he do? This went on for 9 months, fellas. 9 months. After 9 months, when I picked them up, she said, do you want to have a conversation? I said, yes. And she dumped all the stuff and how she was feeling, blah, blah, and all that. And I listened. I was just being. About a month after that, we were out. and she had her friends around and she called her friends over. And guess how she introduced me?
That's the best ex-husband.
Yeah. She said, I want to introduce you to somebody. This is the best ex-husband ever. And I need to tell y'all that I never said those words to her within a year. It was in who I was being that transformed. I'll tell y'all that right now, my ex-wife and I are best friends. And guess who benefits from that? Our son. So anything you want to do in your life, whether it comes to your fatherhood, with leadership, with relationships, the question to ask is, who do I need to be? So before we I just want to slow it down and pause, right? Because communication isn't what's said. I just said a lot of words. To me, communication is what is understood. So I want to pause. I don't want to just keep talking. So I just want to see what was heard and what y'all got in that. So like, if y'all open, right? Since we playing on a court together, like, let me hear from three of you. What was the most valuable thing you heard in that story? Let's hear from three of y'all.
I mean, since I'm new, I just, I feel the same way, man. I was divorced. I'm, I gave up a lot, and I think that you make sacrifices for me, your children, and I feel I'm in that same position. I have the best relationship with the mother of my children. And even though I have a new child moved on, that that it is, you actually spoke about a real experience, so I am right there. So for me, that touches home.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, I could definitely relate, because I think the thing that you said to me that I had to take into consideration, like, I think when we're emotional, we attach that emotion to the experience. And so like, I initially referred to my marriage as a failure when it was time to get divorced. I changed it to unsuccessful. You can be unsuccessful and transition on to whatever comes next. And in changing that, it relieved any animosity that I had, because I could only be responsible for me. Be responsible for knowing, because like a lot of my OGs, when I started moving toward divorce, one of them said it and three of them reiterated, and none of them know each other. They said, what I need you to be able to do when this is all over is look yourself in the mirror and say that you did everything that you could, because I could have left a whole lot sooner than I did, but I was being accountable to and for myself. And in the process, when that got to that point, like, I had absolutely no ill feelings toward my wife. Like, we tried something, we were unsuccessful, let's get on with our lives. Yeah. And that moved me through it. It moved me to a place, and like Art knows, like, I got to this place where I think a lot of folks were concerned about whether or not I'd ever find myself in that position again. At that point, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just considering that I need to do the best that I can to get past this, so that it doesn't keep me where I was. Yeah. So I got it when you said, if you change something and allow it, what you change it to change the effect, it allows you to move from that place that it may put you in for that second. So
yeah. Love it, Kendrick. You said so many things, man. And that's an example of like, your word created your world, man. Like, our words literally create our world, man. Think about it. My man Kendrick, I wouldn't know he's a Kendrick if there was 5 people standing there. The reason he's even a Kendrick or a KB is because somebody gave language to that and enough people agreed. If tomorrow he said, my name is Muhammad Ali, it would be a new creation based on his word. And what I also like you said, Kendrick, was like, listen, how we feel doesn't need to leak into who we're being. Sometimes we think because I'm feeling a way, I need to be a way. Because I'm feeling angry, I need to be angry. My daughter called me the other day, and said, hey, Dad, how you feeling? I said, I'm pissed off at your brother. I'm angry. Do you want me to relate to you by how I'm feeling or who I'm being? Guess what she always chooses? Who I'm being. I could feel angry. I don't need to be angry or become angry. All right, great job. Let's hear from one more, y'all.
Hey, I'll say something. What resonated with me was, I think that kind of thinking about taking ownership of my reaction to the world around me. You know what I mean? It's like kind of, you think of that visceral response, like you said, the cell phone rings and you see a number, you see a name rather, that puts you in a really uncomfortable place, and you sort of brace yourself. But kind of taking ownership of how you receive, because you could be a leader, but if you're receiving information in a way that's putting you at odds with that goal, you're starting off on the wrong foot. And so, like, you helped me think about something that I'm gonna do in terms of how I'm processing things, and even from the onset, that simple task of changing how you receive somebody's call can change the way that you respond in the call, and it could change a whole lot of other things. So that kind of made a lot of good points to me. So I appreciate it.
Thanks, Ron. Appreciate you.
I think Bobby wanted to say something.
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick, one of the things that he said is really important for me is when he said that when he changed the name on the phone to, pray for them or something to that effect. And one of the things that I try to live by, and it really works, and that it reinforces it, is that, just want for yourself what you would want for others, and that's another version of pray for them, and that's the way I try to approach things, and it just reinforced that. And when I started to do that, somebody taught me that years ago. If you just want for them what you would want for yourself, peace of mind, all the good things we want for ourselves, and try to project that in the way you live, it changes things. And when I started to do that with my ex-wife, it just changed everything. Every time I would see her, I wanted peace for me, and I would project that, and it started to just wear on her, and it just changed the whole perspective, and it works. It really works. Thank you, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Wow. All right. So Unc, man, I know, do we have time for a breakout? Because I got an activity.
No, we definitely have time for a breakout, but I just want to share something, Devon, that it's awesome. I really appreciate what you shared. And it's amazing how life is. You conquer one thing and you have a breakthrough, and then there's another breakthrough that you need. And that's where I am. And that's why I really appreciate you this evening. I've been married for 42 years. We worked through a lot of different issues, and I just knew that it was going to be successful. And we're the best friends now. We're still together. We raised 2 beautiful kids, grandkids. But I'm in a situation where I needed this. I need another breakthrough where I'm part of something that I've been praying about, thinking about, and I'm going to make a change. I'm getting another breakthrough. So thank you.
Yeah. So Unc, just stay right there with that. I want you to keep that in mind, because this activity is meant just for that.
Awesome.
Okay.
Great.
All right. So I'm not saying, what I'm saying is true or not true. What I'm saying is try it on for yourself. All right. So this is what we're gonna do here. So does anybody watch sports? All right. Everybody who don't watch sports, you've heard of sports. All right, cool. So in sports, right? And we're gonna set this up like this. There's 2 places to be, right? There's in the stands and there's on the court. You guys get that, right? So in the stands, right? Who's in the stands? Yeah, Philip is talking. Philip got jewels. Spectators, right? They're fans, short for fanatics, spectators in the stands. So the conversations in the stands are different than conversations going on the court, right? So on the court, there's different conversations than in the stand. In the stands, there's a lot of like conceptual stuff. When I talk to people, it ain't about concept or theory. It's all about getting on the court. So when you're in the stands, it's kind of a lot of judgment of others, judgment of the players, judgment of yourself. I could be doing that. I should be doing that. This is how they should be doing it. It's all concept. You guys got that?
Absolutely.
On the court is the language is in action. Yo, Tabiti, man, he's overplaying my right. We gonna take it left and you're gonna go back door. Like there's a different conversation because you're in the game in action. And what I'm gonna tell y'all now is some of y'all, all of us, there's an area in your life. I'm echoing. There's an area in your life, Unc, this for you.
Yep.
Where you've been in the stands.
Mhm.
You in the stands as a spectator. I should do this. I should do that. You shouldn't on yourself and you shouldn't on others.
Yep.
So what we're going to do in this activity is I want you to think of that. So here are some categories. In my fatherhood, am I on the stands or on the court? In my relationship, am I on the stands or in the court? Maybe write it down. In my dreams and vision for what I want to create in my life, am I in the stands or on the court? In my spiritual practice, am I in the stands or am I on the court? In my health and well-being, am I in the stands or on the court? Take a moment. Look at those categories. Just check off where you've been.
Can you repeat it, please?
Yeah. One, let's start with this, with my fatherhood. Am I on the court or in the stands? Two, in my finances, am I on the court or in the stands? In my relationship, am I on the court or in the stands? In my spiritual practice, am I on the court or in the stands? In my health and well-being, am I on the court or in the stands? I have one more, I think. In my dream and vision, like that thing you wanted to create in your life, have I been on the court or in the stands? Now, I want you to look at those because we're going to go to a breakout. We're going to go to a breakout.
How long?
We're going to do 3 minutes each. And what we're going to do is you're going to just share with your partner. We want to do 4 minutes each? Or is that 3 minutes each good?
We're going to have 3 to 4 participants per room.
Okay. So how long is this meeting until?
We normally go to 8:30.
Okay. So why don't we do 10 minutes, right, for the meeting and we'll come back in 10 minutes.
Back in 10 minutes. All right.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to have one person just share, yo, man, I've been on the court. You know, I'm proud. I've been on the court, my fatherhood. In my finances, man, I've been in the stands, right? Now, as the listener, this is what I don't want you to do. When someone is sharing, when they finish, what I want you to do is just ask them the question. The question is, what is the one area that is impacting your life the most? What's the one? And it doesn't have to be impact. Like it could be like, I've been wanting to create that new business for years and it keeps me up at night. It could be like, I wanted to make that relationship better for years. And you just ask them, what's the one that is most important to you right now? And just have them circle that. Okay? You guys got that? So what they're going to circle is the most important one where they've been in the stands and they're just going to circle it. What I don't want you to do is what many of us do. Is this. Derek tells me, yo, man, you know, I'm really been in the stands with this relationship with my teenage daughter. Oh, man, Derek, I know what you mean, man. I have that same thing with my teenage daughter, man. Like, I understand how teenage daughters is. Do you see what I did right there? It's what you call stealing the conversation. Because when we do that, it's not about Derek anymore. It's about me. So I want you to stay with the person, allow them to share where they've been in the stands and just simply ask, what is the most important area that you want to get on the court with, and have them circle it, and then tell them thank you, and then move on to the next person. And we're going to bring that back.
Was it 6 or 7, Devin?
6 or 7.
Topics. I got 6. Did I miss one?
I got 6 as well.
Okay, so then it must have been 6. Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what you're gonna do is it's quick, right? You're gonna take a minute. I've been in the stands, on the court, in the stands, and then you're gonna sit for a minute and say, okay, this is the area in which is the most important.
Finish your degree at
All right. Any questions?
Birth control with no hormones.
All right. So, Unc, let's give him 10 minutes and let's bring him back in 10 minutes.
All right, 10
All right,
minutes. Here we go. Hero Derek. You're muted.
I said good stuff.
Really good stuff. Really good stuff.
Yeah. Devon has a lot of energy, man. He brings it.
Oh, he's amazing. He is amazing. He is
I'm
really.
like, yes.
So I'm gonna put you in group 5.
All right, that'll work.
Okay. So courts, fatherhood, I'm on the court. I would say health on the court. And
Hey, Derek.
I'm the only one in my group.
No, hold on.
Let me see, breakout rooms.
Breakout room. I was trying to put you in a room. Where are you? Oh, unassigned. All right. I'm gonna put you in a room. There's a room with 3 people.
All right.
You see what's going on?
No, I'm just moving. I see the groups. It says unassigned 0.
Oh, interesting. So I guess you have to put yourself in the room.
Oh, because, all right, let me see. Broadcast up messages, close all rooms. No, I want to close all rooms.
If you go to the rooms, next to the rooms, you could join a room.
How do I join a room?
Go where it says room, like room number 3. Go right along where 3 is, right?
Oh, okay, got it.
You could join and you could leave room. So I'm going to join group number 5, and
all right, so I'll join one. How many are in?
You could join group 4. They only have 3.
See, I'm not able to scroll down. I can't see 4. Let me see. I'm not getting. Okay, let me just go here and click on 4. I'm not able to see 4.
You can't see?
I'm stopping at 3.
If you move your arrow over a little, you should get the scroll bar.
Let's see if I do this way. Okay, 4. Oh, Norman is in there.
In 4?
Yeah, and it's Norman, Bobby. Okay, I'll go in there. Join room 4.
You going in 4? Got you.
All right, good work. Thank you, man. Kane, you want to go, brother?
Yeah, man, I just got moved to this room. I'm not sure what happened. Just changed them around, I guess. Yeah, I will go, man. Like, speaking on what you were saying, Devin, being a sports guy, that completely is true. The different perspectives, the on the court versus the in the stands. Just thinking about, people trash talking you from the sideline. It's a completely different, ball game. So that right there that perspective was definitely key, man. So to touch on this, man, fatherhood, man, I definitely feel like that's one of my highest morals, and that's one of the things I hold, high in my morals and values, man. Fatherhood, that's something I definitely, keep near and dear. So fatherhood, we're definitely on the court. Finances, we're definitely on the court. Relationship, we're in the stands. In the stands when it comes to mentality and things like right there. Spirituality, definitely in the stands. Health and wellness, health and well-being, we're on the court. Dreams and vision, I'm gonna say we're in the stands, man. There's some things we want to take care of, man. Some goals and dreams that we've been sitting on due to lack of fear, lack of certain things that that hold most people back. So absolutely, man. And yeah, absolutely.
Good. Great. Kane, man, I'm inspired by you, brother. Young brother doing his thing. So out of those things where you said you were in the stands, I think you had 3 categories. Which one of those, when you look at them right now, are the one where you really want to break through in, like the most important area right now for you to have a breakthrough in?
Most importantly, I feel like dreams and vision, man, because I feel like a lot of things what we got going, man, will definitely, fall in place. With a relationship, I'm committed. I'm committed. With God, we're committed. So like I understand that that's going to take place, but where our dreams and vision can, start coming to fruition, a lot of other things that just start ticking in the right direction. Absolutely. I feel like that's the most important one at this point.
Perfect. So, sir, what I want you to do, just circle dreams and vision. We're going to take that one back to the main room. All right. So Bobby got his. Kane, you got yours. We'll take that back to the main room. Sound good?
10-4, man.
All right. All right, brother Normski, you want to go, man?
Yeah. When it comes to financing right now, I think I'm doing okay. I'm on the court. When it comes to fatherhood, I'm on the court and off the court.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. When it comes to relationships, I'm still on the court and I'm off the court. When it comes to health and well-being, it's I love my children so much, and I love like the women that been in my life, and sometimes it's a challenge because when you leave one relationship and you move to the next, it's always hard, and now I'm just, so again, I'm on and off the court. When it comes to spirituality, my heart is I find like my heart is in a good place, but when you're beat up by those other factors, sometimes you're off the court, so sometimes I don't take care of myself. And I think as a teacher and as an educator for all these years, working with alternative kids, I put a lot of time toward this vision that I have, so I'm on the court with this vision, but I'm almost willing to sacrifice it for other things. So it's hard when I've never really thought of it like that.
Good. So great, Norm. So if you were to look at one area, because some of them you are on and off, if you were to look at the one area right now that you want to break through in, that the one area you would just identify today as the most important right now, which one would it be?
My dreams and my vision.
Perfect. Circle that, brother. Just circle that, and we're going to bring that into the main room. All right, good. Unc, you're welcome, brother. Unc, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. So I just know exactly why I'm here and where I have a big circle around. I've been dodging. I've been making excuses. I've been blaming. I've been hiding.
Give it to me. Let's go right to it, man.
So I just want to say, fatherhood, I'm on the court. My finances on the court. My relationship. We've never been so much on the court after 42 years. Our spirituality on the court, and that's why this has means so much to me. Health and wellness, hired a coach, so he keeps me on the court. Good. But there's an area in my life that is very challenging, where I am the chairperson of an organization, and someone else is actually running the organization. And I've been kind of like complaining to my therapist, complaining to this person, complaining to myself, and things are not happening that I want to happen. And I'm like, I get a bright idea and I'm like, no, that person's running it. That person's running it. And so I know what I have to do. This is so much for me. I got to get off the stand. And and the thing is, I did the tools for my marriage and it worked well. For my kids, it worked well. But this is one area of my life where I'm just being intimidated by someone's personality. And this is for me. I'm ready. I'm ready.
bet. So,
And Devon, I want you to give us a challenge because you won't be here next week with us, but we're gonna be here next week.
Yep.
And I want you to give us a challenge of things if we're serious, what we should do, if we're really hearing the pilot, what we should do this week.
okay.
So that we come back next week. Because I already gave myself a challenge. I'm ready.
All right. I got you, brother. I got you.
Convicted. I'm like, oh, this is just for me. I've been making excuses, and I'm so. Oh man, this is great.
All right, so I think we got about 10 minutes. Let's go back to the main room. Okay, cool. And everyone got their one area. So you got yours, Unc. Kane got his, Norm got his, and Bobby got his. So we good. We good in this group.
All right, we're going to call everyone out in 2 seconds. Here we go.
Perfect.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Y'all gotta wait to hear the rest, y'all.
All the time.
Oh man.
All right, cool. All right, look at all these smiles. Okay, cool. So everybody got the one circled, right? The one most important area. All right.
Yes.
So we're gonna just, before we move forward, I just wanna, let's hear from two of you, like either the person who shared, you don't have to share exactly, you can, either as the one sharing or as the listener. What did you notice about that activity just so far? Like, let's just hear from two of you when we did the breakout. What did you notice?
I'll go first. I noticed that a lot of our group was very in alignment with different things. One of the key ones was like of improvement. I know we weren't supposed to discuss it, but we discussed it anyway. But was just the building of relationships, and then health and wellness. Right? If you're not healthy, then none of this other stuff matters. So that was two of the main things that I took away.
Awesome. Thanks, Philip. Anyone else? Let's hear from one more. What'd you experience in the breakouts? What'd you notice in either the sharing or the listening?
What I personally learned was just asking the question, because like you said earlier, jump in and say, oh yeah, I understand what you're going through. And then it ends about what that person is going through or what they want to talk about. So just having the question and just listening, you kind of intake their story a little bit more, and then you can kind of internalize it with yours too. So the question aspect of it, I think, got me the most.
Awesome. Great, Ishmael. Yeah, some of us are stealing conversations. And I need to share, like, if I could point to one thing there's not many people, and I say this in the most humble way on the planet, who listens like I listen, because I listen from a pilot listening. And that in and of itself, Ishmael, will change your relationships. Being a good listener, really powerful. All right, so we're gonna take that one that you got circled, okay? And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna get real intricate right now. All right, y'all ready for me to get real intricate?
Let's do it.
Even saying the word intricate was difficult. So intricate, I'm gonna tell you what this is based on, is loosely based on a story called The Lion King. Y'all ever heard of The Lion King? Beyonce version, other version, whatever version. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So there was a point in The Lion King where Simba looked in the reflection, and he looks back and he says, I don't see anything. Y'all remember this point, Simba? Anybody ever seen Lion King? Who saw Lion King? Just raise your hand. All right, so he looks, he doesn't see anything, and there's a monkey, the uncle called Rafiki. Y'all remember Rafiki? So Rafiki is with Simba, and he looks into the reflection. He says, I don't see anything. And Rafiki goes to Simba in his best Rafiki, in my best Rafiki voice. He goes, look harder. Right? That's what he said. He said, look harder. Y'all remember this, right? Did I do that well, line out, right?
Yeah,
Look harder. That was good, right? So he goes, look harder. Now Simba looks again, and all of a sudden, right? Reflection comes up of his father, and he hears these words. It is time. You are more than you have become. It is time. You are more than you have become. Now glance down at that thing you circled. It is time. You are more than you have become. Y'all with me? Cool. So this is what I want you to do. We're going to take 1 minute and we're going to look at that area because it is time. And I want you to write this sentence out and you're going to complete it. You're going to look at that area. You're going to know that it is time and we're going to complete this sentence. Somebody can put it in the chat. I am no longer okay that blank. Look at that area. I am no longer okay that blank. Take a minute, silence. Nobody say anything. Just be with your thoughts. About 30 seconds when you're finished, just put your head up so I know you're done. And if you need more time, it's all good. Unc, where's Unc at?
Yeah.
All right. So is everybody complete with that? One of my favorite sentences in the world. Can y'all see the difference when y'all write that sentence? What'd y'all notice when y'all write that sentence? Like someone share, like, what'd y'all notice when you slowed down and wrote that sentence?
I'll go. I see in that in that wording is strength in your conviction.
Conviction. Okay, so this is what we're talking about. Now, are y'all planning on being here next week? Like if I give a homework assignment, will they come back and do it if I assign some stuff for people to do? Or all right, good?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So this is what I want to do because we have about 20 minutes. So I want to work with one of you, maybe Ishmael, whoever wants to step up on their one, like what they're no longer okay that, and then we're going to create that into a creation based on a commitment, because check this out. This may be something you want to write down. Lack of commitment is the high cost of low living. Lack of commitment is the high cost of low living. This is why I don't know, hey, I want to do this. I want to lose 10 pounds. I don't care about none of that. What are you committed to? So I work with somebody. Y'all told me, Uncle, you told me to challenge him.
Oh, we feel challenged. I feel challenged. So
all right, so
who volunteers?
Yeah, so what we'll do is Sam, perfect. I'm gonna work with one of y'all and I want y'all to listen. And what I want to do is in the next week, I want to pair two of you together as coaches. And the commitment is you're gonna get on a call together, about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes each. Can
I
everybody?
want you to work with me, man. I'll volunteer any day.
Who's that?
That's Norm.
I got you, Norm, but I think Sam put his hand up first and.
Oh, he beat me to it. That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm next week.
All right. So Sam, are you willing to like work with me on this?
Yes. Yep.
Perfect. Yep. Thank you, brother. So what was the area where you noticed you were in the stands?
Relationship.
Cool. And is it a specific relationship?
I'm with my significant other. We're together, but it's just a lot of times she'll bring up stuff from 2015. She'll bring up, and sometimes it really gets to me. She's always like, undermining me, and I love her. We've been together for a while, 11 years. I don't want to throw in the towel, but a lot of the times I just feel like it.
Okay, got you. So can you just read to me what you wrote when you said, I'm no longer okay
that I'm in a relationship that goes up and down.
Okay, good. So you're no longer okay that you're in a relationship that goes up and down, right?
Yep.
And I hear you, there's like a complaint there, right? I have a complaint. She goes back to 2015, right? Blah, 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 like that kind of stuff.
Right.
So if I was to turn that complaint into a request, what would be the request that you would want to make?
Let's move forward.
Good. Okay. All right. So you're no longer okay that the relationship goes up and down, right? And you want to have a request of let's move forward.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So in order for you to create let's move forward, what are 3 things you need to start doing? And what are 3 things you need to stop doing?
I need to start more, I guess, listening and paying more attention to what she says. A lot of times I just yes sir, and it goes in one ear and out the other. And then when she comes back and asks me about it, it's I don't even remember what she said. So and it gets her really upset,
So listening, paying more attention, that's one.
Yeah.
What's another thing you need to start doing?
I'm forgiving, but I guess understanding her more.
Okay, what would that look like?
She went through recently a lot of deaths, and I don't know if it's because of that, but she's I just got to understand her more and have more patience with her.
Okay. Good. Now, what are 2 things you need to stop doing?
Taking it like always like easy going, like it's okay. Like being passive.
Good.
Just everything is okay. Nothing's ever wrong. And I know things are wrong. And I don't like to stir nothing up. So I kind of just say, let it go, let it go, let it go.
Yeah, you know there's a word for that. Can I share with you? Because it's 8:15, so I'm not holding back. There's a word for you, and I'm gonna tell you this in the most loving New York kind of way.
I'm ready.
Inauthentic. You're being inauthentic. You're acting as if it's okay and it's not.
Right.
All right. So good. So Sam, you're saying I need to listen more. I have to understand she's gone through a lot of deaths. Things I need to stop doing is being passive and speaking straight, man. Stop being inauthentic. Is that helpful so far?
Yep.
Okay. Now, if nothing changes and you keep doing what you've been doing, what's the benefit of that?
It's going to start getting weaker and weaker.
It's Yeah, okay. And what will it cost you if you don't stand up?
It could cost me my relationship.
Yeah. So only until you get, Sam, that the cost, right now you've been living where, you know, the payoff has been, I ain't got to really get in no problems with it. I could just be passive. That's the payoff. But can you see what it's costing you?
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So only when the cost of losing a relationship is more important than me just being passive will you be able to be committed.
Yep.
You with me?
Yep.
So here's my question. Hopefully, who knows you in this group? Anybody? Like, who knows? Who's friends with Sam?
That's my brother.
Okay, good.
That's my friend too.
Yeah,
That's my
so
friend too.
get this recording to Sam.
And Sam
right?
is my brother too, from another mother.
And have Sam write these 2 things, 3 things. He got 2 things each. I need to start doing this. I need to stop doing this. Pick 1 more each, and hold Sam accountable and say, how did you practice that in this last week?
All right, Sam, you're on.
Sam, are you open for a suggestion?
Yes. Yep.
You said you need to be more understanding. You need to listen more. Maybe you need to ask more questions. Maybe you need to ask a question like, sounds like this. Hey, how can I best support you?
Yep.
Maybe you could ask a question of like, hey, I want to move this relationship to a next level. What do you need from me to be able to do that with you? Sam, can you see the impact of those 2 questions?
Yeah, a lot. Because I don't talk a lot.
Yeah.
I kind of clam up.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So here's the challenge. You gonna see her tonight, or are you gonna see them tonight?
Yep.
Ask those 2 questions tonight. Are you with it?
I'm with it.
All right. Good. Give him a hand, man. Give my man Sam a hand.
Let's go, man.
Yeah. Now, brother, before we close this conversation, what was the most valuable part of this conversation for you?
Knowing that it could go a lot further because it was getting a little rocky, and I didn't want it to get rocky, but I feel like it could get back to where it was.
Yeah. Not only that, it could go further, because you know why, Sam? It is time.
Right.
You are more than you have become.
Right.
You are the king, man. You are the creator of this. Step up in your rightful place and be the king. Create this. If nothing changes, man.
That's
all
true.
right. So you got a partner. You got a partner in Unc who's going to check in, that you're going to ask those 2 questions, and you're going to commit to that and report back to the group next week.
You got it.
All right. Now, this is what I want to do. I want to partner everyone up. So they have a partner next week. They get on a 10-minute call, 20-minute call, and you ask them, hey, what do you no longer okay that? What are 3 things you need to start doing? What are 3 things you need to stop doing? Is everybody willing to take that on over the next week?
Yes.
Because remember, like commitment, your word creates your world. You'll be imagine what moves just by creating from this place, fellas. All right, so I'll let Unc, behind the scenes, I would say, do you want me to pick partners, or you guys want to figure it out behind the scenes? I could pick them now and y'all could exchange numbers.
What do you guys want to do?
This is what we're gonna do. Kane and Philip, you guys are partners. Kenyatta and Artie, you guys are partners. Ishmael and Bobby, you guys are partners. Ronald and Puma, you guys are partners. Sam and Unc, you are partners. KB and Derek, you are partners. Achille and Lionel, you are partners. Khalil and Derek, you are partners. Norm and Tabiti, you are partners. There it is. Does that work?
Yes, you're gonna give us the questions again, right?
Yep. Simple. Read it. I'm no longer okay, that sentence. What are 3 things you need to start doing? What are 3 things you need to stop doing?
Okay, so just for clarification's sake, assuming you're talking about Derek, me and Derek Bernard were in the same group. I want that Derek. It's Derek, but it's a 1, 2. It's at least 2 Derek's on here. Which
Derek Phillips.
Put me with Derek Phillips.
Yep.
Okay, who did Derek? Okay, all right.
So I'm with him Ishmael, right?
Huh?
I'm with him Ishmael, right?
Yeah, Ishmael, Artie. All right, I got Kane Phillip, Kenyatta Artie, Ishmael Bobby, Ronald Puma.
Bobby, I'm with Ishmael.
Okay.
Oh,
right.
okay.
The Kenyatta's with Artie.
Khalil is with Derek.
Oh.
And
okay.
Kendrick is with which Bernard, which Derek am I with? That was my question.
Derek Phillips.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. Before we close out, because I want to hear from everybody before, so this is the thing, man. There was a story. Everybody heard of, it's funny because I don't even, I asked somebody if they heard of Michelangelo. You ever heard of Michelangelo?
Yeah.
Yes.
I made that corny statue. Anyway, I was asking that, and a woman like put her hand up and was like, yeah, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. And I was like, you know what? She's right? That's her point of view. So I was like, yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, but we're gonna talk about the guy who made some things, right? So Michelangelo made the statue of David. There was a priest. The priest was so moved by the statue that he looked for Michelangelo to thank him for creating this beautiful statue of David. It took him about a year. All right, Norman, your partner's Tabiti. It took him about a year. All he wanted to do was thank him. He just wanted to thank him for creating this beautiful statue. Finally, he runs into Michelangelo and says, Michelangelo, thank you for creating this beautiful statue of David. Michelangelo looks at the priest and says, thank you. I didn't create this statue of David. The priest is confused and says, yo, what you talking about? Like, Michelangelo, this David, thank you for creating this beautiful statue. He said, thanks, man, but I didn't create the statue of David. So the priest was so dejected that he started to walk away, and Michelangelo pulled him, put his arm around him and said, listen, what I need you to know is that the beauty of David was already in that marble. My only job was to chip away what wasn't David. And when I look on this call, I see kings on this call. It is time. Our job is it's already in you. Your greatness in any of these areas of your life is already in you. Our job is only to chip away the things that are getting in the way, the limiting beliefs, the fear, all that. That's all we do is chip away. So your rightful place, you step up and create the life and the love that you want, fellas. So that's all I got today, man. I would love for all of y'all to like to me, communicate. Thank you, man. Thank you. Before we close, Kendrick, what I like to do is I'm gonna go around and pick each person. And what I want you to tell each other, because you can help each other in a word or a sentence or two. And you could totally pass. You could say, I'm good. Well, I'm gonna call you to say in a word or a sentence or two, what was the most valuable thing that you heard, saw, or thought today? In a word or a sentence or two, what's been the most valuable, useful thing you've heard, saw, or thought today? And you can totally pass. You guys down for that?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Before we get to that, Lionel, a couple of folks didn't get partnered. I don't think Lionel. This is
I was trying to figure out in the chat. I didn't want to interrupt.
Lionel, you're with Achille.
Achille, all right, got it.
Norman didn't either.
Norman did. He's with Tabiti.
I'm reading what's in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, they're saying that I'm saying folks are putting in the chat that they didn't get partners.
Devon said it. Maybe guys didn't hear, but he said it.
All right, anyone at the end, you could tell me if you didn't get a partner, and I'll tell you who I got, all right? So I'm gonna go in my Hollywood squares. In a word or a sentence, what's been the most valuable thing you've heard, thought, or said so far in this conversation today? I'll start with the top of my Hollywood squares, Kenyatta.
Oh, wow. It's a lot of things, but to sum it up, to be a king, and don't be fearful, and let that beauty and wisdom and stuff come out of you, being chipped off, and brotherhood and love.
Thank you, brother. Thanks, Kenyatta. Philip.
I just pulled from everything, just being intentional about your future. Everything is there. You're there to create it now. Let the past hold you, move forward.
Beautiful. Kane.
Yeah, man, everything you said was great, man. I think the last thing that really hit me the most, and definitely threw some butterflies in my stomach, when you were talking about Michelangelo chipping away the marble. I mean, that was big. That was huge. So, speaking on that, man, you're talking about limiting beliefs and fears, man. You chip those away, man, you're able to unlock your greatness, man. So I feel like that right there stuck out the most, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. Unc.
You made it so clear, the mindset of a person that's on the stand and the mindset of a person that's on the court. And I mean, you were just like telling on me. You were just like exposing me, because it's such a different mindset when you're on the stand and when you're actually on the court and you're aiming for the hoop and you're ready to do something. So that really spoke volumes to me.
Fantastic. Wonderful. All right, let's go to Puma.
Man, everything was great. I guess if I had to pick one thing, I would say the skill of listening is very important. I like that a lot.
Thanks, brother. Ronald.
Yeah, like the other brothers are saying, a lot of things resonated and a lot of things were reminders. But I think what was most profound to me is time.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of things you reminded me of. I know I'm under the marble. It's time.
It's time, my brother. Bobby, I love that. Bobby.
For me, it was still in the conversation. I think I'm guilty of that a lot, because you just want to get your point across so much and get it off your shoulders of what you feel, and you still a conversation instead of just listening. Thank you.
Ishmael.
For me, listening and your words are your world.
Yeah, 100. Artie.
I realized that I got co-pilot hearing, because you said lack of commitment is the high cost of low living. And you made the gym reference. You said they oversell things January 1st, and by February 30th, which made me laugh, you said February 30th, your money's still committed for the whole year.
Right.
But your enthusiasm has to, so you just and listen, you're gonna pay the price anyway. So stay the course. That's all it was. Salute.
Salute, brother. Khalil.
The power of being a doer.
Thanks, brother. You do have Lionel.
I would say accountability from everything that you said from the beginning on speaking on your life or your divorce. From the Lion King story, from ourselves, when you gave us the court and the stands, everything, in order to move forward, it always cycles back to ourselves. So I would say we got to be accountable for what we're going to do. And I'm no longer okay with the things that I haven't done. And that's what I got from it. I'm not okay.
My man. All right, my brother. Achille. You there?
The still in conversations one was big for me. I've stolen a lot of conversations in my day, so I'm gonna make sure to try not to do that no more.
There you go, brother. Don't try, just don't do it.
Word.
Derek Phillips.
Your words create your world, and that's so powerful. Because also just from everything that you say, Devon, just in terms of the power of words, and also just your words, your audio matching your video. You didn't say that today, but that's one of the things that always stands out to me when you talk about it in terms of the book. So just the power of words And the other thing is just the power of a word, which is create. You can create. It's up to you in terms of what you want to create. So that really stood out to me and resonated with me.
Kendrick.
I'll pass. Y'all don't say that. I don't nothing. I would say, and I'm paraphrasing here, but when you made the statement about you being more than you become, I think that's something that if you apply that every time you find yourself in a repeating an action, especially a corrosive or a detrimental action, we're bigger than that. And like, we don't have to repeat. So when you realize, wow, I got something else for this, and you offer it and you see the growth. So I definitely think if it could become a mantra, like I'm more than that. Like I'm more than that. What do I have for this particular instance? And I think we practice that. I think it needs to be something that we're mindful of, because every time we come here, every week, there's some growth. There's something that transpires, and I think sometimes we overlook it. And we should be our first fan. We should be applauding for ourselves before anybody else.
Thanks, brother. Sam.
I got two really good things. Listening is one thing I gotta learn, more about listening. And I gotta get on that court more. Get out those stands and get on that court more. I think that whole scenario was really deep, getting on the court. So I know I gotta become a real player in life.
Yeah, you're gonna be a player tonight with those two questions, baby. Steph Curry with the shot tonight. All right, to Beatty. Oh, you're on mute, Tabidi. Sorry. You there, Tabidi? I'll come back to you, brother. Norman.
Hold on, boy. Well, I think what stood out for me is how I'm on and off the court in almost every dynamic, except finance. I was on the court, off the court, in fatherhood, relationships, spirituality, and in vision. I can't just grab it all, but so that stood out to me the most.
Thank you, brother.
That I got to make a decision and try to stand on the court more in every aspect.
Hey man, it is time, and I hear this word a lot. So I need y'all to know the first coach, the best coach I know in the world was this guy, because Luke Skywalker went to him and said, "I'm gonna try," and you know what he said? Do or do not. There is no try. Right? So let's get, that's language. Our words create our world. Norman, if you said, "Hey, Devon, let's meet me for coffee next week," and I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it." Lack of commitment is the high cost of low living.
Absolutely.
Let's commit to it, my brother. Tabidi, you good now?
Yeah, all I was going to say is that you took us through an exercise tonight of self-processing. And self-processing has never been associated with us as men, as fathers, and Black men, Hispanic men. It's never been associated with us. So self-processing allows us to get a sense of who we are, as you talked about, our sense of being, and it gets us in a mindset of just, laying a framework as to, what is our intentional purpose for, ourselves. And so I think, taking us through the exercise and listening, was a good thing. I got a lot out of that.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Okay.
Derek, let's bring us home, Derek Bernard.
I must say it was actually two things, because I came in late and I was off and on, but two things caught me. Was the first thing was about being in the stands versus being on the court, that actually hit home to me. And also with the stop being passive aggressive, and because that's that's not authentic, or how you say
inauthentic.
Yeah. And I didn't think about it like that. Like when you said it, I was like, wow, because the thing is, I have been passive aggressive in my marriage. When when he was talking, I was so ready to listen to him. Still the conversation, but I had to stop myself and just listen. Because the thing about like I'm saying, he was talking, it was like Like when he was talking, it's like, you know, I was talking. So, you know, that hit home with me.
Great job. Well, listen, man, you know, I'm honored, guys. I'm honored that you asked me to come spend some time with you. I truly, whether I know you directly or not, man, I can honestly say from my heart, I love you guys, man. What you represent out here in the world and what you're doing means everything to me, man. And, you know, I stay connected. I think Derek got the book for everybody in the group. And if you ever need anything from me, you know, I'm just a email, phone call away, man. And it's just been an honor and a pleasure hanging out with you guys, man.
Devon,
Thank
we
you. Thank you.
sincerely thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And brothers,
Brought
next
some
week,
jewels on us.
next week is barbershop. So what we're going to do is dive deeper into it. Come back with your victory reports and all your moves on the court. And, you know, that will really motivate us that next week we're going to actually continue to unpack this incredible session that we had with Devon. Let's build on it. Let's not just be hearers, but let us be doers, all right? And so we're going to keep each other accountable and show up during the week and come back next Thursday to share. Don't forget the hike. You got to come to the hike. I mean, even just for the fellowship, those that are in the area. So thank you, Devon. We really appreciate you. We love you. And this has been dope.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, brothers.
Good night.